P7 was quite an interesting time, for me at least, because there was a certain controversy going on at the time, and in this video I'm going to discuss with you what exactly that controversy was, and a bit about it, like how I kind of dealt with it, and the kind of the ramifications that happened after the fact. So this all pretty much started technically when I was in P5, and I was hanging about with P2s. Now, in P5, it wasn't as bad as it was in P7, but it was weird to a few people. The fact that I was a primary kid hanging about with other primary kids. Despite how dumb that sounds, there seems to be quite a few people who agree with that. The weird thing was, these people who kind of thought of it as a weird thing, that I was hanging about with P2s, and later on P3s, and then P4s, it really doesn't make sense, because there was nothing really being insinuated. I mean, we were literally just hanging about and doing regular things that people would do on the playground in primary, you know. Now, it didn't exactly get as bad as it did in P7 when I was in P6, because at its worst I was in P7, but I'll get onto that later. Now, in P6 I did start to notice that people were taking notice to the situation. I wasn't really, I was confused at the time, because nothing at all was kind of wrong with what I did. There literally was not anything wrong with what I did, because all I did was just hang about with them, full stop. But here's where it gets like really bad. So P7, oh boy, I don't know what was going on in my class's heads at all at the time, but clearly something must have went wrong, because I mean, it wasn't even just my class, it was the teachers. Yeah, I'm being serious. The teachers actually started to give me into trouble for it when I was in P7. And it's strange, because literally all I did was hang about with them. Yeah, they were acting as if I was some kind of serial offender of some sort. I wouldn't say it's like specifically, because, you know, it's a YouTube video. I don't know what was going on through their heads, because they were acting as if, like I said, I was a serial offender of some sort. But then again, I was in P7. I don't know how they would have thought, like, someone who was literally, like, 11 to 12. I don't know how, I didn't even know what the problem was at the time. I was so confused. And, you know, this reminds me of a story that I found on YouTube. I think it was like an Optimus video. If you haven't watched Optimus before, he's a good YouTuber. You gotta watch him. He uploads daily. So it was a 3-year-old, I think, and an autistic 3-year-old at that, and he was put on a sexual offenders list, simply because he hugged a classmate and kissed them on the cheek. Of course, the P7 situation was not anything like that, but it just reminds me of that story, because it's just so stupid. Like, what? Like, that's going to be on his criminal record. Thankfully, it didn't get that far in P7, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it did. It was also pretty bad when people in my class, they had, like, some of them had younger siblings, and there was one that literally took their sibling away from me, as if I was trying to take him away or something. But like, it's just, I don't get it. I wasn't doing anything to him bad, like, that was bad. Yet they're acting as if just hanging out with like P4s is just really, really bad. It's stupid. I don't understand it. I know I'm being loud, but I cannot help it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay, I've calmed down a bit now, but as I was saying, no one in my class was on my side with the story. The only person that was, or the only people that were my family and myself. And it's a bit like jokes on them, because I actually made a pretty good friend as a result of the whole thing, because you know I became friends with this other boy, and he's an altar server at the church, and I'm an altar server at the church as well. But I was just so evil, because for whatever reason, even the teachers agreed and actually put up a boundary for me to actually be near primary fours, as if it's some sort of restraining order, which is just even more, I'm flabbergasted, honestly. And the head teacher, or as some viewers may call the principal, they would not help me one bit either. It's just, why? Because there was this problem, and he always said that I'm gonna deal with it. Yeah, but then even my mum reached out to him and actually spoke to him, and it's like arguing with a feminist. You're not gonna win, because they're making such stupid points. And speaking of feminists, the person who actually kind of spread the whole quote unquote issue, the rumours, became a feminist. Literally, if you're from my school, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But I wouldn't reveal it if I were you, because privacy and stuff. And if you defend the other side, or the side against me, then I'd like to see any valid points as to how it's wrong, because I don't get what's wrong with primary kids hanging about with primary kids, despite the people who were actually complaining that I was doing that were doing it themselves, which is a bit ironic, because there was a buddy system. Well, actually, it wasn't called the buddy system, but it was called the monitor system, and I believe it was I believe it was just P7s that could help P1s get through primary or something like that. I don't know, but it was, I had one when I was in P1, but it's just, I find it a bit hypocritical, because the people who were complaining about it were the main people, the person that turned into a feminist, was in fact a monitor. It's dumb. It really is. And if you have anything to back up those claims that they made about how it was wrong, like I said, put it down in the comments. I'd like to find a valid reason as to why it was wrong to hang about with primary fours and literally doing absolutely nothing suspicious at all, just hanging about with them, normal things. But to close off this video, I'd like to give a plug to my gaming channel, Mongolian Macaroni. I won't be uploading gaming commentary videos on that. That's what the Zimbabwean Zucchini accounts for. But hopefully you like the gaming content and streams that I might do later on in that Mongolian Macaroni account. I'm also going to be doing book reviews on the Mongolian Macaroni account, so keep an eye out for that. But with that said, goodbye.